Okay, go ahead. You can. Who are you again? What's your name? It's Steve.
Oh, Steve Matichuk, Melville.
Melville, and you worked. You worked on
the CNR. I hired out in 1952, June the 18th, and I made 5 student trips with regular firemen on the engine, and he showed me how to shovel coal, clean the ash pans out with water, and how to shovel coal in the right places to keep the steam up. And
how long was your career, Steve, with
my career was 38 and a half years.
And you finished in, when was that
I
again?
finished in June the 14th, 1990.
1990.
My last 5 years was engineer on the VIA train, on the passenger train.
Oh, fantastic. So let's go back. I remember you told me one time when we were talking about you shoveled so many tons of coal.
35 ton of coal.
35 tons of coal?
From Kamsack to a town called Humboldt.
Yes.
That was 65 miles, and they called it hay coal.
Hay coal? Why did they call it hay coal?
Because it burned just like hay. You'd shovel, you almost continuously shoveled coal to keep the steam up.
How did you manage to shovel? How many tons? 35 tons?
That's what the tender hold, but that took about close to 8 hours.
But that's an immense amount of work, 35 tons.
Yeah.
You must have been in pretty good shape to do that.
I was 18 years old, and I didn't know what tired was.
So that was a steam engine, coal-fired engine. Did you ever hear of anything called silk trains? Did you ever hear of those?
Silk trains, but the silk trains, we ran them out of Melville on the main line.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and they usually had 4, 5 cars.
Okay.
And you went 80 miles an hour with them.
Did you ever ride on the silk train?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
I fired a few of them.
Oh.
Same as fish trains.
Fish trains?
They'd have about 6 cars of them. They would come in from the north.
North? What kind of fish were they
They come
getting?
from Lynn Lake area.
Okay.
And
Are we talking pickerel or something like
I
that? or-
don't know what kind of fish it was. I know they called it fish trains.
Fish trains.
And
Oh.
they were 80 mile an hour trains.
When you
And
think
they,
about
they didn't have refrigerators. It was ice
ice,
on them.
where were those trains going to? And
They're going up east someplace.
okay, so you were on the silk train. So when you ran the silk train, excuse me, I got a bit of a cold here. When you ran the silk train, you ran from Melville to Winnipeg, was it? Or?
To Rivers, Manitoba.
Oh, Rivers is your turning point.
That's where our turning point was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you started as a fireman shoveling coal and
Yeah.
doing all that.
And I got qualified in 1960, but I didn't run an engine out of Melville till 65 to become an engineer.
Oh, you got qualified as an
Yeah.
engineer. Oh my God! So you had quite a career.
Yeah.
So you were doing passenger trains?
Oh yeah.
Is there a different approach when you're doing a passenger train, pulling it out of the station, than a freight train? Is there a way you drive it?
When you drive a passenger train, you got to make sure that you're smooth, so it don't jerk.
Yeah, exactly.
Because passengers could be standing, and if you jerk them, they can fall over.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So, and same as stopping. It's
It's a fine art.
You use the brakes a little different. Of course, your trains aren't long on passenger trains.
Yeah. Oh my
I
God.
ran a passenger train with 29 cars. That's the longest.
29 cars.
Yeah.
Was that still in the heyday of?
No, it was like in the 80s, late 70s and 80s.
Really? Okay. They used to run trains when you started. Did they have trains running to more local communities?
Oh yeah, they had them on all the branch lines.
Did they?
We had from Yorkton to Parkerview. It's only 40 some miles,
Mm-hmm.
and you hauled passengers on it.
Oh wow.
And then we had another train that went from Yorkton to Kelvington,
Okay.
and you hauled. It was a daily train
Daily train.
going there, and you come back the next day.
Jeez.
and it ran daily.
So you caught the last part of the heyday of the
Right, yeah.
trains
And
doing
then,
passenger trains.
I wasn't on this train. I made the second last trip from Melville to Swan River.
Swan
And the
River.
next trip, they canceled that passenger train, and there was 300 people on the last train.
300 people.
Yeah.
So what's the most memorable thing of that steam era that you think of?
Oh, is to keep the steam up.
Keep it up.
On the passenger train, on the main line, if you had an engine that was started with 60, number 60, 60, those engines had 210 pounds of steam.
Okay, it was registered by steam power.
And you can go with them. I went to 108 miles an hour on the passenger train.
108 miles an hour.
And we weren't supposed to, but the engineer says, I'm going to take her. And no speedometers,
Okay.
but you count the pole lengths. I forget now how many pole lengths in a minute.
Oh, okay, the number of telephone posts going by.
That's right.
That was your speed.
Because on steam engines, we didn't have a speedometer.
Oh my God. Did you get any lunch or anything out of the dining car? Did they bring you any
On
food?
passenger train,
Yeah.
not really.
No. So you were stuck way up front and doing all
Yeah.
the work. And
Yeah.
so you went from steam trains to what came next then?
Diesels,
Okay.
yeah.
Diesel fed,
Yeah.
the fancy
And then
diesels
the
we see
the
today?
passenger trains, they had what they called a steam generator.
Oh.
That's what created the steam, made steam to heat the passenger trains up.
Oh.
And if they worked good, it maintained the steam.
Okay.
But if the machinist or whoever they are looked after it, that didn't clean the boilers out and all that, it wouldn't produce the steam.
Oh no.
So sometimes in the wintertime, the last couple of years that I worked, we had steam generators, and nobody would look after them. And in the wintertime, sometimes we had to go 25 miles an hour
Oh.
because so they have heat in the
Oh.
coaches.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you had a pretty good career though. Was it all with CN or
Yeah,
all at Canadian National? And out of Melville, you lived in Melville?
Yeah, I hired out of Kamsack, but I worked out of Regina, Radville, DePaul. I worked quite a bit out of DePaul.
Jeez. So you drove all kinds of engines
yeah,
and
engines, yeah. They called them 2100s.
what's your favorite engine to drive? What would you like to drive?
Ones with the 6.0.
6.0, they had the
Yeah.
power, did they?
They had the power and the speed.
What about a steam engine? Was that not a
Yeah,
good?
that's a steam engine.
Oh, that's a 6.0.
Yeah,
Oh, that's your favorite, that one
Yeah.
there. Why do you like steam engines better than diesel?
it's something to think about all the time. On a diesel, you can only fix up so many things.
Okay, okay.
And I knew a lot of problems on a diesel that if I couldn't fix it, the machinist, if he comes out, he would fix it.
Oh, really? Okay.
I knew quite a bit.
You knew
about it.
you were pretty handy with
Yeah.
those things, and then you got into sort of heritage steam engines and a little bit of that
I
stuff.
got into with the museum
Mhm.
and I got them traction steam engines. That
Any more of our stuff in here?
are they loading the
You betcha they're loading.
Oh, we better go. Okay. Well, thanks, Steve.